The promise they made to each other. It was not announced with flashing lights. It was not spoken on a stage. It was not written in headlines at first. The promise between Lee Min-yo and Hye Kyo was made quietly, in a moment so simple that no one watching would have guessed it would change everything. They were sitting side by side after a long day. No cameras. No audience. Just the soft hum of the city outside the window and the comfort of silence between two people who understood each other deeply. Lee Min-yo looked at her hands resting calmly in her lap. Hye Kyo looked straight ahead, calm and thoughtful. That was when the promise was born. Where it all began. Their connection did not start as a dramatic spark. It grew slowly, like a story unfolding one page at a time. At first it was shared respect. Then trust. Then comfort. They became the people each other turned to when the noise of the world grew too loud. When schedules became overwhelming. When expectations felt heavy. They listened. They stayed. They did not rush. And over time something unspoken settled between them. A quiet understanding that what they shared was rare. The night they spoke from the heart. One evening, after hours of deep conversation, Hye Kyo finally said something that lingered in the air. "I want a life that feels peaceful even when it is busy." Lee Min-yo did not answer immediately. He thought carefully. Then he said, "I want the same. And I want to protect that feeling." That was the moment. No dramatic declaration. No grand gesture. Just honesty. They realized they were standing at the same emotional place without planning it. The promise. They made a promise that night. Not a promise of perfection. Not a promise of a perfect future. But something deeper. They promised to choose understanding over pride. To speak honestly even when it felt difficult. To protect each other from unnecessary noise. To always come back to calm instead of chaos. Lee Min-ho said quietly, "No matter how loud the world becomes, I promise we will keep our world gentle." Hye Kyo smiled softly and replied, "I promise we will never lose ourselves trying to please the world." That was their promise. What made it so powerful? The beauty of their promise was not in the words. It was in the intention. They were not chasing fantasy. They were building stability. They knew life would bring challenges. Schedules. Distance. Public pressure. But their promise was not to escape those things. It was to face them together calmly. And that made all the difference. The small moments that followed. After that night things changed quietly. They checked on each other more intentionally. They shared moments without needing to document them. They protected their time fiercely. Lee Min-ho began to turn down unnecessary commitments just to have quiet evenings. Hye Kyo learned to rest without guilt, knowing she was supported. Their bond grew stronger not because it was loud but because it was consistent. Why fans felt it without hearing it. Fans noticed something different long before any story surfaced. Their expressions softened around each other. Their smiles became calmer. Their presence felt grounded. It was not romance designed for attention. It was connection built on safety. People sensed it because it was real. If you are enjoying this deep emotional story, please take a moment now to subscribe to Kdrama-Home. This channel brings you heartfelt storytelling, real emotion, and unforgettable K-drama inspired journeys. Subscribing helps you never miss stories like this one. Now let us continue. When the promise was tested. Every promise is tested eventually. There were days when schedules separated them. Days when exhaustion made communication harder. Days when silence could have created distance. But instead of pulling away, they leaned in. They reminded each other of that quiet night. Of what they promised. And each time they chose patience over reaction. That choice strengthened them more than any perfect moment ever could. What the promise means today. Today their promise lives in the way they show up for each other. In the calm way Lee Min-ho listens. In the steady reassurance Hye Kyo offers. It lives in their shared mornings. In unspoken support. In choosing peace again and again. It is not about being seen. It is about being understood. Why this story matters. In a world that celebrates fast love and loud declarations, their story reminds us of something important. That love does not need to be rushed. That promises made quietly can last the longest. That choosing calm is a powerful act. Their promise was not meant to impress anyone. It was meant to protect what they found in each other. And that is why it resonates so deeply. The future they are building. They continue to move forward with intention. Not chasing headlines. Not feeding speculation. Just building a life shaped by honesty, trust, and presence. Whatever comes next, they face it anchored by the promise they made. And so we end today's story with a reminder. Some promises are not meant to be shouted. They are meant to be lived. Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo chose a promise built on calm respect and understanding. A promise that continues to guide them quietly. Thank you for watching Kdrama-Home. If you loved this emotional story, please subscribe and stay with us for more unforgettable journeys from the world of K-drama and beyond. Until next time, stay gentle, stay inspired, and stay connected with Kdrama-Home.